Good morning, second grade. I am super excited to do community meeting with you guys. Why? Because I love Mondays. The reason why I love Mondays is because, well, it's a new week. Fresh start, new things to look forward to. So, I'm ready to go. Are you? Awesome. Let's do this. Before we go into our new book, what I want to do is actually think about the book that we read last week. Now, if you remember who this book was about, go ahead and yell out his name. Yes, it was about Chris Paul. Remember, he's an NBA basketball player who, when he was really little, had this big dream that some people told him he couldn't get, right? Why? Because he was too small. Yep. Now, when Chris was stuck in all this discouragement, remember, how can we get him unstuck? We can give him some positive things to think about. So, what's something positive that you would say to Chris when he feels really stuck in order for him to get back up and show some grit? What's something that you could say? Go ahead and share them out loud or go ahead and type them. I'm going to think right now as you guys share. Those are good answers. Yep, keep them coming. Let's see. Ooh, I got one. I think what I would tell Chris is, hey, you're right. You're not the tallest kid, and that's okay. Because guess what? You beat everyone else when it comes to your hands. The way you dribble that ball, the way you pass, the way you shoot, the way you guard people and do defense, you have it all. So keep on going. That's what I would say to him, and I'm hoping it's something positive enough to get him unstuck. Now we have a new objective for this week. It's still going to sound a little bit familiar because we're still talking about two key words. Go ahead and scan that objective real quick, and I want you to say the two words that I'm thinking of. What is that first word I'm thinking of in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Yes, it is persist. What is the second word I am thinking of? Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, it is grit. Now here's a tougher question though. What does persist mean? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Say it out loud. Now, if you said to keep on going, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Now, second question. What does grit mean? Think about it real quick. Answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, grit means to show courage and strength in keeping in what? Miss John makes mistakes. Grit means showing strength and courage to keep on going, especially in something that you have a passion for. Now, if you said something along those lines, go ahead and kiss your brain. That brain is super smart. Now, let's go ahead and loud and proud read this objective together. All right, here we go. Count of 3, loud and proud. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I can persist and show grit by patiently trying again and again to solve a problem or reach my goal. Good job, Rocketeers, reading that loud and proud. This week, we're going to read a really fun book called Pop, The Invention of Bubblegum, and it's by Megan McCarthy. This book, just like last week's book, is about a real person. His name is Walter Dimer. Go ahead and look at Walter's face right here. Say hi, Walter. Yes, now, Walter had a dream. Can you guess what his dream was? It had something to do with, your clues are right here. Yes, it had something to do with bubblegum. He wanted to develop, which means create, a bubble gum that you could actually blow bubbles with. Now that's why it's called bubble gum. Before, it was just called gum. But he wanted to make bubbles. So let's go ahead and start this book to see where his journey started. All right? Here we go. On a small street in Philadelphia in the 1920s, there was a factory owned by the Fleer family. Inside the factory, lots of gum and candy were made. Working upstairs was a young accountant named Walter Dimer. His job was to add numbers and balance budgets. He knew lots about math, but not much about gum. There wasn't enough space in the building, so a new experimental laboratory was moved into the office next to Walter's. In came lots of beakers and pots and tubes. What could be going on? The big secret was that the company was trying to make a new kind of gum. Chewing gum had already been around for centuries. Men in top hats and women in puffy dresses chewed gum for fun and to cure things like stomach aches. The ancient Greeks chewed the sap of the mastic tree. The American Indians introduced early settlers to spruce tree resin, a sticky substance that could be chewed. Ho hum, gum wasn't that exciting. But what if gum chewers could blow bubbles? Now that would be something, a world full of bubblegum blowers. Every day, Walter watched what went on inside the laboratory. There wasn't much progress. One day, his boss gestured toward one of the kettles containing a gum experiment and said, "Watch that, will you?" After a while, I was not only watching it, I was doing it, Walter said. He added a bit of this and a bit of that, but still nothing. Perhaps making a new gum wasn't possible after all. And soon, Walter's boss had given up. Now let's go ahead and get into some questions. I know we only read a few pages, but here's my thing that I want to ask. If we look at Walter, was he a trained scientist? That should be a quick yes or no. Was he? Yeah, no, he was not a trained scientist. Remember, what was he? I know it's a big word, starts with an A. My second graders, you can do it. Go ahead and look at that text and see if you can find that word. What was Walter? What was his job? Yes, he was an accountant. And what does an accountant do? Still in that text. Go ahead and search that text for what an accountant does. His job was to add numbers and balance budgets. You guys are right. So he really looked at how much they were spending, how much they were earning, and how much they had left. All right, 2 more questions. Now remember, later on in this book about what we read so far, we saw that Walter actually started helping with making gum, right? But something crazy happened. His boss quit trying. Why do you think his boss quit trying to make gum? I want you to think, what makes you stop doing things? What makes me stop trying to do things? Well, I know for me, I usually stop doing things when they get too hard. What about you guys? Same kind of thing? Yeah, maybe that's why his boss quit. It was getting too hard. Now, his boss quit, but Walter kept going. He persisted. Why do you think he persisted? Yeah, you know what? I think he persisted because, well, why would I persist in something? I definitely keep trying to do something when I really like it, when I feel challenged by it and I'm interested in it. Those are some of the reasons why. So maybe that's why Walter did too. Maybe he had a lot of curiosity about gum. He had a lot of interest about gum and he just wanted to keep going. Now, as we close, I want us to really now think about today. How can we apply what we learned in this book to our lives today? Now, remember, Walter was an accountant. He didn't know anything about making gum, right? His boss, who knew everything about making gum, quit before he did. So today, what I want you guys to do, and I'll do the same, is let's take a new interest. Let's see what we're interested in or what we're interested in accomplishing, and let's go for it. Even if it's something that you've never done before. For example, baking. Miss Jung's not good at baking, but you know what? I'm taking an interest in it. I have actually always had an interest and I've always been curious about it. So why not start today, right? Because remember, along the way, we'll learn and our brains will grow. Okay, so Rocketeers, I am super interested to see what you guys are going to actually pick up today and what you're going to start trying to learn. Have an amazing day. I hope you guys learn a lot, especially in those classes of yours. And I'll see you back here next week because tomorrow, Mr. Holbrook will be back with you. Okay, bye, Rocketeers.